Hello and welcome to this webinar. Today we're going over the other features of Realty APX, which include CRM, reports, the dashboard, calendar, digital flyers, and how to schedule a showing. So we're going to go over all of those. If at the end you have any questions, we can go over them. But let's go ahead and get started. So you'll see this account is pretty empty. It's as if we had a brand new account, like many of you. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go into our setup. You'll want to click on setup, go to your name, click on the setup button, and then go to the top left folder, scroll down to Google integration. So we want to be able to integrate with Google for our calendars and our email and dashboard and some other features. So you're going to see the screen once you get here, and you're going to want to click Sync with Google. You're going to click on whatever Google account you want to sync with, and then you will go ahead and log in, and you'll click Allow on your Google account, and now we are synced. So this is awesome because you're able to kind of have that dual platform calendar feature. So anything that happens in your Gmail account, you'll be able to see on Realty APX. So now that we're synced, let's go back to the dashboard. So the first thing I want to go over is just kind of the different things you can do with the dashboard. You'll notice there's some default features on here. One of the first things you can do is kind of organize these how you want. So you can move these around. If you want contacts at the top, you can put those at the top. So it just makes it very customizable, and that will help you with any, I guess, organization that makes more sense to you. Another thing that you're going to want to do is if you click on the X, let's see, if you click on the X, that's going to delete any widget that's in here. So if let's say I don't want site links because I never use it, for example, I can click OK and that will be deleted. And then you can also add widgets from here as well if you click on that folder on the top left when you're in the dashboard. So the dashboard, you'll obviously be able to play around with that and use that to your advantage. The other thing, your agents will have office events and office news on here, and we'll show you in a second how you can create office events or news items. So that makes it really nice. So that's the dashboard. It's pretty self-explanatory, and it should be useful for your overall general view of the system. Alright, the next thing let's go over is the calendar. So if you go to the calendar button right here, if you click on that, this is a pretty useful feature as far as like integrating with the dashboard. But once again, you'll see how you can do office events and publicize those to your agents, so it makes it nice. They will appear on their calendars as well. So if I click on, let's say I want to create an event on Tuesday, a new calendar event, you can go ahead and we'll just put a party that we will have. The event type, if I want to create an office event, I can assign this to specific categories of users. So it can either be management, agents, or all. So let's just do all in this case. And you can also select the specific people if you don't want everyone, but you want everyone to appear. You can just do that as well. So you can select who you want that to be assigned to. The category, we don't have a category, and then you'll select obviously the start time and the end time. You can put location on there if you want with the map description, and so this will make it very nice just to make customizable events for your office. And you can also do the font there as well, as you can see. So I'll go ahead and click save, and that will appear on there. And you can see now we have our office party tomorrow at 12. And so now if I went to the Brad's account, who is the agent of our brokerage, he'll have this exact same event on his calendar. So that makes it really nice. If we went back to the dashboard, you're going to see that same feature on there of the calendar, and you're gonna see that event as well right there. Boom, they can click on that and find out what events are happening. So and then office events, they'll be able to see that as well. And if you can obviously RSVP to that or not. So that makes it really nice and easy to organize your calendar events. All right, so next thing we want to go over is the CRM. So if I go to contacts, we'll be able to see the different features that the CRM provides. So one of the first things, as you can see, if I click add right here, if I just want to create a new contact, for example, and I go to the first name, we'll go ahead and just name them. You'll see the contact categories. So this makes it very useful as far as organizing your different contacts in the CRM. Obviously, you're going to have different buyers, sellers, companies in your CRM. So if I just want to do buyers, then I can go ahead and fill out any other information that I want to have on them. The other thing you can do is assign different leads. So if I have a buyer lead, let's say, and I want to assign that to Brad, I can go ahead and do that, and that will automatically transfer to Brad's account in his CRM. So he'll be able to access and view all the information involved with Larry. So if I click save, that just makes it really nice in order to assign leads to people. And then the other thing you'll be able to see on here is if I go to buyers, for example, you know, both Larry and Mary actually are buyers in this situation, so we'll be able to see them. And then I can go into all contacts and see all of my different contacts. You can go to all leads, you can see all the leads that you have. If you go to shared, if you can see what contacts have been shared with you or by you. So that makes it very nice for assigning different leads and contacts. As you remember with the Google integration, you are able to integrate your contacts with Google so that they automatically come over. So you would do that by going once again into setup. And then once you are in the setup, you will go to the Google integration, and then you'll go to contacts, and then you can select all of these if you want and click save changes, and your contacts will come over after a little bit of depends on how many contacts you have. It may take a couple minutes, but they'll be able to sync with your CRM. So now that we've gone over the contacts, it's also important to note that when you're in a transaction, you can create contacts. We'll go over that in a different webinar on how you do that. But from this contacts tab, you'll be able to monitor and manage all of your contacts that are in your system. Okay, the next thing we want to go over is how to create digital flyers. This is one of the best parts of the transaction feature because it is very useful in your marketing of your properties and other things. So if I have a property, let's go into 123 Apple Street, and you'll see that there's kind of some different features we have on here that we can put in. So first, let's go ahead and put the address. Let's kind of fill out the basic information, right? We'll go with we have our list price of 500,000, sales price. We haven't sold it yet, obviously. Otherwise, we wouldn't be marketing it with a digital flyer. Let's go to property details and just do some generals. So if I go to show all, then I can go into the general description. Amazing property. Bedrooms 5. Let's do baths 2. Square feet. You can put that in if you would like. Stories 3. Okay. So now that we have that information, if you see on the top right here, there's 3 little dots. So if you click on those, and then you go to digital flyer, this will create a new URL for you. This URL you're able to give to anyone, and they'll be able to pull up this exact digital flyer. You'll see one thing we are missing is pictures. So now if I go to photos and add some pictures of our property, let's go to pictures. And if I go back now to the digital flyer, you'll see it looks a lot better now. And so you can obviously have this digital flyer with the price that you're selling it for. You have your information on there. And so what you can do from here, one thing someone can do is submit an offer. If they click on that, that's going to take them to this offer page, and that will automatically go into RealTPX so that you can have all this information. Another thing you can do is schedule a open house. So if they clicked on that, they can do all this information, kind of just this sheet, and then you can go ahead and submit that. They can also schedule a showing. So if you want to schedule a showing, this kind of corresponds with the next thing we're going to go over. But let's say I wanted to schedule the showing for this property. I can go ahead and put in my information. Say I need a lockbox, you can go ahead and do that, put in your information, and then if you want an email confirmation reminder. So then I can go ahead and schedule this. If I want to do it, let's say a couple days out, and then click submit, this has now been submitted, and I'll show you where you can see this showing that was scheduled. They can also see a photo gallery of the different photos of the property. They can see the map of where this is, and they can find exactly where that property is. And then they contact, if they want to send their contact information to get in touch with you, they can do that as well. So this digital flyer is very nice. If we now go back to our property, if I click refresh here, there's a couple ways you can access the screen that I'm about to go to. So first, what we'll do is go to management. If I go to management and go to office showings, you'll be able to see that's the showing that I had scheduled. So you can see all of the different showings that have been requested to be set up. And the next thing is you will go into this top right box. You can see that. If you click on schedule showing, you can go in there, select the property that you'd like. And right now we only have one property in here. So if I clicked on that, I can go ahead and schedule this showing by going into schedule showing. This is the URL of the digital flyer, but you can do it from here as well. So if someone went in there, you can do that exact same process of filling in your information, your phone number, and then you can go ahead and select the time and the date. Let's say this one's for Friday, and then click submit, and now that showing has been submitted as well. Let's go back. And you can also do the open house or the showing. So that makes it very useful just to do both of those different processes. If you have any questions, you can obviously ask me more, but that's a pretty explanatory process, and the showings is a very useful feature in order to monitor those within your office. So that is the showings list. All right, and the last thing we want to go over today is how to kind of manage and deal with the different reports. So I'm going to log into an account that has a little more data and transactions that have been dealt with, so you can see this right here. So we'll go to the account demo, and the reports are nice just to be able to manage kind of how different agents and things are doing. So if you click on the reports tab, once again this is user specific, so not everyone may have these the ability to access this, but if you go to transactions right here, if you click on that, the first thing you'll see is the agent listing, so you'll be able to see all the different agents in your system. And then if you click on this top left, this is where you're going to be able to view all the different reports. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but just to kind of highlight a couple. So these first, the broker reports. So this is kind of the view of the broker, right? So you have the property reports. You can see the different properties that are in your system. You can go to, for example, total sales price. So if you select the date, this will show you the different agents in your system and how many sales that they have for that specific time period. You can also switch the graph if that's better for you, whatever you'd like. You can go then to the office reports. This is what a lot of people like, just to be able to see kind of the overall office commissions. So if you go to average commissions, you can see this and see kind of the average commission for each agent. You can go into commission reports, look at team commission reports. This is a very useful one just to be able to export this if you're not using Account Fusion. So if you go, you can select obviously your company, the team that you want to look at, and if you want to just look at that, you'll be able to see all of the different commissions that this team has dealt with and the different properties, and you can see that there. If you want to select a specific agent and see what commissions they've received, you can select that and you'll be able to see what transactions they've been associated with. So the reports just make it nice. You'll obviously be able to go in and play around with these and see which ones you like best. But that's kind of the general overview of reports. And so that was kind of everything we wanted to go over today. We talked about the calendars, we talked about CRMs, the dashboard, digital flyers, how to schedule showing, and then the reports feature. So that was just our webinar for today. If you have any questions, we can go over those. And hopefully this helped you learn a little more about the other features of RealTPX and the other capabilities that you can use with that.